Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making asparagus, egg, and bacon salad with walnuts and Dijon vinaigrette. I'm going to start by putting our eggs on to boil. I've got the oven preheating to 400. Our recipe calls for frying the bacon in a skillet, but I discovered kind of by accident that our favorite way to have bacon is thick sliced, baked in the oven at 400 degrees. I'll start the timer at about 20 minutes and check on it. And if you poke a little hole in the large end of the egg, you're less likely to have your egg split open and have the egg white coming out by the time it's done boiling. So I'm just going to put these in my small pan here. Fill it a little over halfway with water. And then we're going to put the heat on and wait for it to start boiling, and then we'll time it 5 minutes and stop it. And we'll still need the boiling water for the asparagus, so we're just going to lift the eggs out with tongs, put them into some cold water to cool down, and then drop our asparagus in the same pan. So I'll just put that on kind of close to high heat, get it heating up pretty quickly. If you're making bacon for company and you need to cook a lot of bacon at once, you can put pans on both racks in your oven and then switch them halfway through the baking time. For thin sliced bacon, it'll probably only take about 20 minutes to bake it. So you can do 10 minutes and then switch them and do 10 more minutes. But these are thick, so they'll probably take a little bit longer. Don't quite want to fit. Usually a pound of thick sliced bacon will fit on here, on one sheet. Have to push them together a little bit. There we go, it fits. They'll probably stick together a little bit while they're baking because they're touching each other, but that's okay. It's starting to form some little bubbles, but it's not boiling yet. I think I'll check on this at 25 minutes. I'll start getting my asparagus ready to cook. I already washed it, so I've just got to snap the woody ends off and then cut it into 2-inch pieces. You can kind of feel when you flex it where the woody part ends and the tender part begins. That one's kind of wilty. If you buy asparagus at the store and it's in a bunch instead of a bag, you'll want to either use it right away or put it inside of a big mug of water in your refrigerator so that it doesn't wilt. Also, asparagus, the tops are really, really tender and delicious, but they also tend to collect sand while they're growing, so that you don't get grit in your teeth. When you wash these, get a bowl of water and just take the heads a handful at a time and just beat them in the water, and it'll knock the sand out of it. If you're boiling it, then that'll get the sand out too, but if you're not going to boil it, if you're going to bake it in the oven, that's an important step. Not so important for this salad because we are boiling it. these out. And now I'll just cut these into about 2-inch pieces, and I'll cut them on the diagonal. It says to cut at an angle. Not quite sure how you manage that if you're cutting them all at once. I guess you could do this. Or you can cut only a few at a time. Well, doesn't really matter. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and put some cold water in this bowl so that once the eggs are done, you can drop them right in that cold water so they don't get any harder. Boiling them for 5 minutes results in the middle being a little bit soft, but I like it that way. If you don't like it that way, you'll want to increase your boil time a little bit. Not quite boiling yet, but we still have one more thing to do. Two more things to do. We can chop our walnuts and we can make our dressing. I'll make the dressing first. Now for this, I definitely want to make at least twice as much as it calls for. I might even do a little bit more. So you'll need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to use my flavored olive oil. I'll show you what this is. This is from Water & Williams in Cape Girardeau. And I've got the Tuscan herb. They've got a lot of different flavors, but every time I try a different flavor, they've got some really good ones. I just keep coming back to this one. It's just the best. So you need 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put a little over 1/4 cup. 4 tablespoons. A little bit more. Can't go wrong with extra dressing on this salad. And you've got red wine vinegar. You need 2 teaspoons. I'm going to put at least 4 teaspoons. No, this is not for you, silly. She thinks it's cream. Every time she sees me coming out with bottles, she might beg. If I come out with berries, she knows cream is next, and she'll start begging for cream. You're cute. You're a cute little beggar. You need 2 teaspoons of Dijon, which means at least 4 teaspoons. No, this isn't cream either. You're a silly goose. Need to get more mustard. Just about out. Mustard adds flavor. It also helps the oil and vinegar to mix together better and not layer out as soon as you stop stirring. Oh, I hear my water boiling. Yep, close enough. Go ahead and set my timer. Oops, wrong button. Okay. This bacon. Not time to check it yet, but it sure smells good. And then you'll need a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, or more if you're making extra dressing. Baby, it's dinner time, not dessert time. I'm not getting any cream out right now. This pepper's gonna make you sneeze. Cute thing. You're giving up on it. Walking away now. Zara, you're cute. You know you're cute? Can we put you in the video for a second? Show everybody how cute you are? Will you let me take video of you for a second? You're just going to follow me, aren't you? All right. Well, I'll just move the video for a second. Show you the kitty. There's Annabelle. And this is the cute little beggar, Zara. All right, and we're going to chop our... It says to use walnuts. I prefer pecans. So, we have pecans. It's supposed to be about a half a cup. It doesn't say to use roasted and salted, but nuts are always better roasted and salted, so. Got about 2 minutes left on those eggs. All right, eggs are done. Just gonna scoop them out. Drop them into this cold water to cool down. And then drop our asparagus in there. Be careful not to get your hands in the way of boiling water if it splashes. That's why I'm using the spoon to kind of guide the asparagus in instead of just dropping it. Lid back on. That should take about 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll keep a pretty close eye on that. Poke it with a fork once it starts looking bright green. And I've got a strainer here to rinse it in. We'll put it in the strainer and rinse it in cold water once it's done, so that way it cools down and doesn't continue cooking and get mushy. Meanwhile, the eggs are cool enough to start cracking them and peeling them. So this salad, I like to make it right in the bowls, and then we can each add our own dressing, however much we want. And those are cooled down enough. I'll go ahead and pour the water off. And I can put my eggshells in this bowl. There's a skin inside the eggshell. If you can catch it, be able to get the egg shell off without taking any of the egg with it, for the most part. Having a hard time with it this time. There we go. That's taking too long. I better check on the asparagus. Not quite done. Give it a minute or so while I keep trying to peel this. Feel free to go in the comments and share your own tips and tricks for how to peel eggs without destroying them. It's not so important when they're going in a salad, but if I were making deviled eggs, I'd be very sad right now. This is not coming out very well. But I managed to save most of the egg. I'm going to rinse it quick just in case there's any little bits of shell left on there. Check on the asparagus again. That sure looks good. Oh yeah, that's going right through. Okay, we're done. Rinse that off quick so it doesn't keep cooking. Also, since we're using this in a salad and not a hot dish, it's good to serve it not hot anyway. So that's another purpose of running cold water on it, to cool it down quickly. And I'll show you a little bit how tender this is. Get one of the fatter pieces near the base of the stem. Your teeth should just cut right through it really easily. No toughness left at all. But you see the heads of the asparagus. I'll bring one over to the camera so you can see. There we go. See, that's still got all of its shape. It's not cooked to mush. It's not coming apart at all. It's still beautiful. So that's about what you want. You want it to, you want to be able to bite into it easily, but you don't want it, you don't want the heads falling apart. Kind of that tender, crisp, happy medium. That's why it's also really important to break off the woody ends, because those never will get to that tender, crisp point. They'll always be tough. I'll probably edit out some of this peeling because I'm really having a hard time with this one, and probably not very interesting to watch. Oh boy. That is overdone. I should have checked it at 20 and not 25. It's too cooked. Get it out of that grease so that it doesn't continue cooking. Turn this oven off. Set it on paper towel to soak up some of that grease. Yeah, that's a little bit overcooked. A little bit too dark. All right, next I will cut these eggs in quarters. I'll show you the inside of one of these. It's not runny at all. But you can see it's still pretty soft in the middle. So that's where you get if you just cook it till it's been boiling for 5 minutes and then immediately move it to cold water. I like to kind of spread those around the outside of the bowl. Take the asparagus and divide it between the bowls. Kind of put it in the middle. And then if this is cool enough to touch, I think I'll put 4 slices per bowl instead of 4 slices for the whole salad. Still pretty hot. The rest of this we can use for BLT sandwiches or put it with some eggs for breakfast or whatever we want. More likely to eat it if it's already cooked. If we just left it in the refrigerator, it might get wasted before we cook it up. Some pieces are less overcooked than others, so I took some of the better ones for this. I'll probably snack on the overcooked ones myself. Now we'll just put these chopped pecans on top. Mix this again a little bit. It wasn't completely layered, but it was starting to settle. And I'm going to go ahead and put dressing on this one and show you what it looks like all finished. There you go. They seem weird using asparagus as a base for a salad, but it's quite delicious. Mostly because there's all that bacon in there. All right. We're gonna have dinner. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy.